Today it's access all areas. We're going into the store in Navan Library. We'll knock just in case there are ghosts of librarians of past days. This is our store, which accommodates up to 60,000 volumes. And today we're going to look through the fiction area. These are the books that have survived from our move from Churchill over across the road. There are 300,000 titles in stock in Meath County Libraries. For every 5 books that you see on a shelf in a public branch library, there's another copy down here in our stores. We'll just have a look through what are the early editions that we have in our store collection. And looking through the store, we see the tastes of generations of readers. We see the names from the current names, Sebastian Barry, the people we're very familiar with, John Banville. We also have the classics, the Jane Austens, and these are early editions that many borrowers may have read themselves, and these are the copies that have survived. We also have editions of books that we received by donation, that we purchased at auction, and some are copies of books that have moved across from Churchill. This one particular copy, The Heat of the Day by Elizabeth Bowen, is particularly interesting because it has the date label that we were all so familiar with. And we particularly look at rule number 4 for the rules that borrowers must obey. Borrowers must report to the local librarian all cases of infectious disease occurring in their houses while library books are in their possession. And that may have echoes for today. With 60,000 volumes in our store collection, upwards of 45,000 upstairs in our branch, people may rightly ask, what do librarians do all day? Do they read all day? Well, I can categorically deny that we spend all our days reading. What we do is we acquire books, we admire books, we bind them, we catalogue them, we classify them. But what we do most of the time is we look for them. We spend our days looking for books to find them here in the store for our readers. All of these books are all computerized, catalogued on a national catalogue, and available to borrowers right across the country. They can be borrowed, and within 24 hours, they can be on a shelf in a library in Killarney or in Donegal, waiting for a borrower there to collect them. And that's what happens here on a daily basis. And what we spend our time doing is organising and managing these collections that we have inherited from generations of librarians who have purchased this stock over many years. And we're very proud today to take you around to show you these collections. So we can go back and show you the depth of the collection here. So we've already looked through the fiction area, and that is the smallest proportion of the stock that we carry. The largest proportion is our non-fiction area. And if we look at particular areas, maybe if we have a look in the sports collection and just see what has survived. We're looking through now just at one particular area of our collection. This is part of our sports collection. We're looking here at GAA and soccer. We look at one particular title that has survived, Spurs Again, the story of the League Cup season from 1970-71, I think. 70-71. And this copy has been here in the store since that date, was borrowed regularly in the 70s and 80s, and then wasn't borrowed again until much later. We've it shown here, July 2019. So the quality of your collection is judged by the depth of your collection, So for the one borrower who comes in looking for this title, they believe you have a great library if you can find it for them. And that is the test of the system. We have far more contemporary people here, Mr. Keane and Mr. Quinn, people will be very familiar with. And we also have our GAA titles, and unusual other sports are represented that have survived over the years. If anyone wanted to start their croquet games in isolation in their back garden, we have just the book for you. So please, if you're looking for this, it's available. So this, we'll just see what date. This is dates from 1899 and was in the collection and has been borrowed, would have been borrowed probably more in the, we don't just have a date, but the old cards are still there that people would have been familiar with their tickets when they brought in their old brown tickets. So they're just examples that we have, and that is replicated right across all areas and disciplines, all areas of interest. So I just brought you through to one particular area that I have a particular interest in myself. So I'll leave these books back, and I'll make sure that the Spurs book 1970-71 goes back into the right place on the shelves, because that is the greatest crime you can commit as a librarian, to put a book back in the wrong place on the shelves, or your successors in 20 years' time will never be able to find it. So it'll go back there onto the shelves and remain in its rightful place. And I'll do the same with Mr. Quinn and Mr. Keane.